Ever feel like you're running in circles? Busy all day but getting nowhere? What if I told you the secret to unlocking your full potential isn't about working harder, but about training your mind? In the next few minutes, I am going to share the story of a young man who went from being completely lost and unfocused to achieving his biggest dream, and how you can use his exact methods to transform your own life. Stay tuned, because this might be the most important video you watch all year. Let's talk about Alex. From a young age, Alex had one clear dream. He wanted to become a doctor. He was fascinated by the human body, driven by a deep desire to help people. He could picture himself in a white coat, making a real difference. But there was a huge gap between his dream and his reality. Alex was a master procrastinator. His days were a whirlwind of distractions. A quick scroll on social media would turn into an hour-long rabbit hole. A short break to watch one video would become an entire afternoon binge watching a series. His textbooks would sit on his desk, collecting dust, while he was out with friends or lost in video games. He knew he needed to study. The exams were getting closer, and the pressure was mounting. He'd make plans, create detailed schedules, and promise himself, tomorrow, I'll start for real. But when tomorrow came, the cycle would repeat. He'd sit down to study, but his mind would wander. He'd think about a funny video he saw, a message he needed to reply to, or what his friends were doing. The slightest notification from his phone was enough to derail him completely. He felt a growing sense of anxiety and guilt. He was letting himself down, letting his dream slip through his fingers. He saw his classmates making progress while he was stuck, drowning in a sea of distractions he created for himself. The dream of becoming a doctor felt more and more like a fantasy. One evening, after another wasted day, Alex hit a breaking point. He looked at his reflection in the dark screen of his laptop and didn't recognize the person staring back. This wasn't the dedicated future doctor he envisioned. This was someone being controlled by impulse and instant gratification. He felt a wave of frustration wash over him. But this time, it was different. It wasn't just guilt. It was a spark of determination. He realized something crucial. His problem wasn't a lack of intelligence or a lack of desire. His problem was a lack of discipline. His mind was an untamed horse, pulling him in 1,000 different directions. He decided, right then and there, that he needed to learn how to take the reins. His journey began not with a textbook, but with a simple blank notebook. At the top of the first page, he wrote his goal in big, bold letters: become a doctor. It wasn't just a wish anymore. It was a command. Beneath it, he broke it down. What did he need to do? Pass his exams. To do that, master specific subjects. To do that, he needed to dedicate real, focused hours to studying each day. This simple act of writing it down made the goal tangible, real. It was no longer a vague cloud in his mind, but a concrete destination with a clear path. This was his North Star. Next, Alex declared war on distractions. He knew his phone was his biggest enemy. So, he took a radical step. He downloaded an app that would block all social media and entertainment apps during his designated study hours. At first, it felt like torture. His fingers would instinctively reach for his phone, only to be met with a blocked screen. He felt antsy, restless. This initial phase was the hardest. It showed him just how addicted his brain was to the constant dopamine hits from notifications and new content. But he persisted. Every time he felt the urge to give in, he would look at the goal written in his notebook. Become a doctor. It was his anchor. Alex also completely redesigned his environment. His study desk, which used to be a mess of clutter, was cleared of everything except his textbooks, his notebook, and a lamp. He moved his gaming console out of his bedroom and into the living room, creating a physical barrier. He told his friends that he would be unavailable during certain hours of the day. This was tough. He felt like he was missing out, but he reminded himself what he was working towards. The temporary sacrifice of social fun was a small price to pay for a lifetime of fulfilling his purpose. He was choosing his long-term dream over short-term pleasure. The most powerful technique Alex discovered was what he called mindful focus. Before each study session, he wouldn't just jump in. He would take 2 minutes to sit in silence, close his eyes, and just breathe. He'd visualize his goal. He'd see himself acing his exam, getting his acceptance letter, wearing that white coat. This mental rehearsal primed his brain for the task ahead. It wasn't about emptying his mind, but about filling it with his purpose. Then, he would set a timer for just 25 minutes, a technique known as the Pomodoro technique. He told himself, anyone can focus on anything for just 25 minutes. During that time, He was single-minded. If a distracting thought came up, he wouldn't fight it. He'd simply acknowledge it, jot it down on a notepad to deal with later, and gently guide his attention back to his work. When the timer went off, he would take a genuine 5-minute break. He would stand up, stretch, walk around, maybe grab a glass of water, but he wouldn't touch his phone. That was the rule. The break was for his body and mind to reset, not to invite new distractions in. After 4 of these cycles, he would take a longer break. Slowly but surely, something amazing started to happen. Those 25-minute blocks became easier. His focus deepened. He started to absorb information like never before. He was no longer just reading words. He was understanding concepts. He was actually enjoying the process of learning. The feeling of making progress was far more satisfying than any social media scroll had ever been. The results were transformative. Alex's grades started to climb. His confidence soared. He was no longer the anxious, guilt-ridden procrastinator. He was focused, disciplined, and in control. He walked into his final exams not with fear, but with a quiet confidence. He had done the work. He had trained his mind. Of course, he passed with flying colors and eventually got that acceptance letter to medical school. The dream he wrote down in his notebook became his reality. Alex's story isn't just about becoming a doctor. It's a powerful lesson for all of us. We all have dreams, whether it's starting a business, learning a new skill, or getting in shape. But those dreams will remain dreams until we build the discipline to pursue them. So, how can you apply Alex's lessons to your life? First, define your goal with absolute clarity. Write it down. Make it visible. This is your why. It's what you turn to when your motivation wavers. Second, identify and eliminate your distractions. Be ruthless. Create an environment that is designed for focus, not for temptation. Third, practice mindful focus. Start small, maybe with just 15 or 20 minutes. The goal is not to be perfect, but to be consistent. Every time you bring your wandering mind back to the task at hand, you are doing a mental push-up. You are strengthening your focus muscle. And finally, celebrate your progress. Acknowledge the small wins. Building discipline is a marathon, not a sprint. Your mind is your most powerful asset, but it needs a leader. Without a clear goal and the discipline to pursue it, it will wander aimlessly. But when you give it a clear direction, when you train it to focus, it can achieve extraordinary things. You have the power to take the reins, just like Alex did. Start today. Define your goal, build your focus, and watch as your own dreams begin to take shape. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on mastering your mind and achieving your goals. Let me know in the comments what one goal you are going to start focusing on today. See you in the next video.